Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a really neat quadcopter, a new quadcopter, just hit the scene. This is the Kaideng K70C Sky Warrior. Now, if you look at the Sky Warrior, this is very unusual looking quadcopter compared to other toy grades that we've seen in the past. And even its camera is very unusual. I mentioned in the past that this is probably going to be the year of the camera, where we're going to see camera improvements, and we do see that with this, an attempt at a camera improvement with the Sky Warrior. The camera on this is a 720p HD camera with a much better lens. It has a nice lens here to gather light. Additionally, it has a nice anti-vibration mount included under the belly here, and on top of that, it has a gimbal that enables, a power gimbal that enables it to be switched up and down. So you can adjust by remote control using the controller here, pointing it down at the ground to view objects that are on the ground, or bringing it up horizontally to view the horizon. These are neat features on this new quadcopter. The design of the quadcopter, if you look at it, we have the arms moved backward on here so that the propellers and the arms of the quadcopter should not be in view of the camera. That's a neat idea, a great, really cool idea to do that. Additionally, if you notice these arms, these are smoked, colored, clear plastic. Inside here are LED arrays, here and here and here. Very colorful at night, so if you want to do night flying, you could probably do that very easily with this quadcopter. Another thing about it, if you notice, the pods on this quadcopter, they are almost identical to the pods on the Syma X8C. And in fact, if you open up these, they open up the same as the Syma X8C, and look at the motors seem to be the exact same, with the same plugs. Almost the exact same. I think they are slightly different color on the base plate, but I believe, and you can't quote me on this just yet, but I'm pretty sure that Syma X8C motors will work in this quadcopter. There'll be plug-in replacements for this quadcopter. If somebody finds out differently, correct me, but I'm almost positive, because I have spare Syma X8C motors. I compared them alongside. They look and are shaped almost identically the same, with the same connector plug. So they should be able to work with this. Another thing, this has a pop-off top. So if you need to make repairs inside here, I don't see why you'd need to get inside, but it easily is accessible. Just like a RC car, this top plastic is held in place by only 3 cotter pins here, and you can open this up and do modifications to the flight control board if you wished. So all in all, pretty neat new style, new design quadcopter. I'm excited to fly it right now, actually. This will be a Syma X8C killer if this camera is any good. So we'll see. One thing about it though, I'm not sure if it has the legs that the Syma X8C does. The Syma X8C can go at the 300 meters. This one's advertised with 100 meters range. We'll see if we can get that. I'm going to try to fly it down to the pylon off in the distance there, which is 150 meters away. If I can go down to the pylon and back, that's good range for this thing. Let's go over the transmitter real quick. Transmitter. I like the design of the transmitter as the buttons are all labeled with what do you call it, icons, to let you know what these buttons are for. No longer do you need to decipher and then label it yourself what the buttons are for. And with that in mind, this is one key return up here. This is this is headless mode right here. This is one key return right there. You can change the rates from high to low, low to high by pressing this button here. This can do flips. I'm not going to do flips. Well, I might do one flip with this just to demonstrate it, but I don't want to damage the motor with this large brush motor quadcopter. But you can do flips by pressing this button here and telling which direction to flip. You can take a snapshot with the camera by pressing this button here. You can take a video by pressing this button here. And you can turn off the lights on the quadcopter to save batteries by pressing this button here. To raise and lower the gimbal, you use this button here. That's the only button that's not labeled. If you want to point the camera downward, you push down. If you want to point the camera upward, you push up on what would normally be the throttle trim button. So let's start it up. First off, I'm going to point it off in the direction of the pylon. I'm going to go in the center here of the the field here. Point in the direction of the pylon and turn on the quadcopter. Oh, sorry, it has the on-off switch is on the top. There is an on-off switch right there. And turn on the quadcopter. Turning on the transmitter. Binding it to the quadcopter. And let me show you this gimbal. Okay, first does a check like that. And then if you want to point the gimbal downward, see how it's moving? Let me lift it up and show you that. We'll look at it from the side. Okay, let's point the gimbal down. And if you want to go back up, and it's back up horizontal again. There's no dial. It's real easy. About 3 clicks, it's horizontal again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, and it's pointed straight down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, and it's pointed straight forward again. So I am going to fly overhead and try that. And point at it and see if we can get a picture of us, or a video of us. Okay, starting the video camera. And you can tell it'll start recording because the front 2 arms will blink when you press down that button. Okay, we are recording video. Let's go for the first flight of the Kaideng Sky Warrior K70H. Let's trim up, trim back, and just do a little turn around the field here. Very nice and stable, folks. I am in low rate. Let's do a slow turn. Going up a little higher. I'm going to bring it into hover overhead. And I'm going to point the camera down. 6, 7. Hello up there. And the range does seem to be greater than predicted, because I am at about 100 meters right now. Okay, pointing forward again. Incoming. Quadcopter 101 back again. It's later in the afternoon. Imagine when I got home and I saw that smudge on that lens. Well, I had to bring it back out again. Of course, we got to give this another shot. This time, I'm flying out in the desert, hopefully to get a little more interesting video from the air. I've tried a different, this is a little bit further out than normally where I fly, but it's still a pretty cool area to fly. So let's go for another flight of the Sky Warrior. I wanted to show one thing though. Again, you know, I mentioned I had a smudge on my lens, but this lens is supposedly a wide-angle lens compared to other toy-grade quadcopters that you see. And again, as I mentioned, this mount can be, you can remove this camera from this mount, easily remove it. It's just held by a couple screws in the back by this bracket here, and replace it with your GoPro Hero 4 or your, I'm going to try my SJ cam actually in a future video here, or even a Xiaomi would probably fit in this also as well. Now my SJ cam is a little bit thicker than a GoPro 4 and this camera here. I guess this mount is really designed for the GoPro 4, Hero 4, but it's easy. You just take this bracket off and you can wrap a rubber band around the brace here, or around the front of it, to keep your thicker cameras in this mount and still be able to fly and use this and this gimbal, this remote control gimbal, with your better action cameras than this little 720p that it comes with here. Okay, let's see. We want the video to record. I'm turning on the video recorder on the camera. That's recording. We should be good. Taking to the air, and actually I am going to point it down and just let it climb into space. Isn't that neat, folks, huh? Being able to do this. And let's go a little bit forward and bump up that camera. We should be back up again. And bringing the quadcopter around, descending. I'm going real fast, folks. I want to see what that does to jello. It probably causes a lot of jello at this speed because it is flying fast. And then rotating. and doing a flyby. Hello there. Okay, we are going to go over the gully here. Oh, I like this quadcopter. You didn't catch the first part of this video, but when I flew it out at Satellite Lake, I was really impressed, and I'm still really impressed with this quadcopter. Its ability to fly, really good range. About the 150, 160 meters I got it out to. That might be close to its max range though, because you know it's advertised at a 100 meters, but this easily goes past 100 meters, folks. This is a great camera quadcopter, a real good competitor to the Syma X8C. I can see this thing selling a lot of quadcopters. Okay, let's send it upwind a bit and start climbing a bit too. And I'm going to a higher rate to be able to fight the wind. We got a little bit of an afternoon breeze here. I'm going to go over this direction here, and we're going to climb. I'm going to let it go with the breeze and climb at the same time. There's the breeze. Climbing, climbing, climbing. And doing a rotate if I can. A slow rotate of the area. And I gotta start coming down because I am high. Reducing throttle and descending. There's probably a lot of jello with this, folks, because of the speed that I'm going. Okay, I am hovering one more time, and again, actually give it a little more throttle. Going to low rate and rotating right about there. And pointing the camera down. Should be pointed downward now. I'm high. Been flying over my position. High up there. Can you see us way down here? I'm keeping it under 400 feet, but I'm right at the edge there. I'm getting close to it. Reducing throttle. I gotta come down. I'm way too high with this. Pointing the nose up again. You should be viewing the horizon again. And coming down. So all in all, I am impressed with this quadcopter, especially that it can carry a GoPro. It's meant to carry a GoPro. You know, the camera that's included with this, again, you know, it's better than your average camera. But really, most people are going to want to put a GoPro on this, and they are. This is a great camera or a great quadcopter for adding a GoPro to. Okay, that's enough video for now. Let's test out the, hello folks. Wonderful, wonderful little, hi there. Just amazing, huh? Now this thing flies for quite some time. Let's go back upwind again of me. This gets like about 9 minutes of flight time, which isn't bad for this big quadcopter. Hello up there again. Okay, let's bring it down. Just let it come down. Wonderful quadcopter, ain't it? Pointing the camera back up. Now, flips. It can do flips. Let's bring it down again and show you that. I want to show what else it can do, folks. Flips and headless mode and one key return. I did that this morning, but I want to do it again. So yeah, it'll do flips. I don't recommend doing them. You'll burn out motors. You do them too much. But yeah, I can do flips. Great quadcopter, folks. Okay, headless mode. Let's bring it down first. I can't remember which way it was pointed. And we're going to reset the headless mode. I'm going to do a quick landing. So overall, this is a neat quadcopter, folks. This is a great competitor to the Syma X8C. You know, I really think this is a great quadcopter, particularly the way it's designed to keep the video arms, or the quadcopter arms and propellers, out of the video. That's a neat idea. And also designing it for action cameras like the GoPro and the Xiaomi and the SJ Cam. That's another neat idea. And also including this hinged gimbal with anti-vibration mounts. That's another neat idea. And also including a wide-angled lens. That's, you know, all this together, you know, this is the best, I think, in my opinion, the best of the camera quadcopters in the toy grade class that are currently out there. That's my thoughts. So this is Quadcopter 101. I hope you enjoyed this video. Quadcopter 101, signing out. We got to demonstrate one key return in headless mode. Maybe a flip too. See if there's enough power. I turned the quadcopter off. We're going to point it in the direction of Owens Peak there, because that's where the wind is coming from. And always fly into the wind, folks. If you're new, if you're a beginner, fly upwind. That makes it much easier for the headless mode to work and the one key return to work for you too. Okay, we should be good to go. I'm going to turn off the light to save power. And we'll send it down here, turning on headless mode. And this is in headless mode right now. Now with headless mode, and it's working very well actually. Headless mode, forward is always in the direction of where the quadcopter was pointed. Right is to the right and left is to the left of that direction with the sticks. Back is to the back, and it doesn't matter which direction the quadcopter is pointed. Like right now I am pointed to the right, but if I push forward on the stick, it's going to go off toward the mountains, where the direction it was pointed when it took off. How about one key return? Which one was one key return? Let's bring it down lower so I can demonstrate the one key return properly. Right about there. One key return. Will it come back? And it comes back. But this is all dependent on flying in the direction, when you take off, at the direction the quadcopter was pointed. You want to face that direction and keep the quadcopter down that direction. Remember, I pointed it toward the mountain in the distance, so you always want to try to fly off in that direction. This is one key return again, coming back and overhead. So it does work. One key return in headless mode works on this very well. Coming out of headless mode, I haven't done a flip yet. Let's see if there's power for a flip. Let's bring it in closer. I'm just going to do a couple flips because I don't want to hurt these motors. I like this quadcopter. I want to use it for a while. Headless. There's a flip. Right flip. Left flip. Okay, that's enough flips. I do not want to hurt those motors. Do I still got power? This thing's flying for a good long time. Short night flight with a K70H. I just wanted to show you the lights on this thing. Pretty interesting, huh? Interesting, huh? Okay, that's enough to show you the lights. It bounces. Again, that's the K70H. Hope you enjoyed this flight.